This video is brought to you by r4p3.net.
Alright, this series will be about working with the TeamSpeak 3 PHP Framework, and today's video will be about getting information about your clients. So let's start by downloading the framework. Simply visit their GitHub and click on download zip over here. After you've done that, you should get this folder over here. Simply put it into your website's root or wherever you want to put it. Just make sure you will find it. And after you've done that, please create a main PHP file, which is index.php in my case, and a config file. And then create an array in your config file, which includes the information about your server, like the query information and such shit. You can do it like I did using an object array, or just do it however you want. Just make sure that you are able to use these informations later on. After you've done that, simply save that file and go to your main file. The first thing we are going to do is requiring the framework. Simply fill in the path from your current file, which is index.php in my case, to the TeamSpeak3.php file, which will be libraries TeamSpeak3, TeamSpeak3.php in my case, as you can see right here. After that, simply require your config file, which should be config.php in my case. Just forgot to add this. After that, simply create a new TeamSpeak connection. You can basically just copy this whole thing because you don't really have to know it. It's just needed to connect to the TeamSpeak. So what it basically does is it uses our query name from here, which is server admin in this case, and the password, which you can find over here, the host, which is my local IP right now, the query port, the server port, and the nickname, which I didn't change. So simply copy this and paste it into your main file. Then let's start by looping through all players, like clients, because our today's goal will be to create a little table that will be able to show specific information about each client that's connected right now. So as you can see, I'm connected right now. So let's loop through every client by creating for each loop. Let's call it, I don't know, TeamSpeak server. No. Let's call it no, I'm retarded. That's not even the name. Let's remove this whole shit. For each TeamSpeak server client list, as how should we name it? Let's name it TeamSpeak client. So we basically created an array, like it's looping, like this client list basically gives us an array and we are looping through it, and we're just assigning TS client as a temporary name for it. I don't really know how to explain it, but I hope you got what I'm talking about. So simply after you've done that, we gotta check if our client is a usual client or if it is a queried client, because we only want usual clients in our list. So in order to do that, create an if statement and simply check if client, which is the current client, which is TS client in our case, get info, which is a function which gives us an array with a shitload of information about that client, and then client underscore type equals 0, or we can basically just check if it's wrong. Client. So if it's a usual client, let's go ahead and simply print out every value that we can read with, like, by using getInfo. So TS client getInfo as key value, yeah, that's correct, and then echo $key that $value and just let's take a look at it. Maybe we should add a break so we can easily read it. So as you can see, it's simply printing out every information it can print out for this user. Like, it's looping through every user, but because it's only me online right now, as you can see, it only shows information about me. If I'm gonna connect again in a new tab, and I'm gonna reload this page, you will see there's also information about this second client. But as we don't need that right now, I'm just gonna disconnect again. So as you can see, we can use CLID in order to get our client ID, or client database ID in order to get our database ID, or client underscore nickname in order to get our nickname. You can find detailed information about this stuff in the documentation. I will link that in the description so you can easily find out these values. So I would say let's create a table that it's able to print out our nickname, maybe our database ID, which you can find here, maybe our unique ID, and maybe our operating system. So in order to do that, simply copy all these things to a new file so we don't forget which one we need. So simply paste them in here so we don't forget them. And then go back to your main file. We actually don't really need this anymore. But yeah, let's start doing some HTML stuff. We don't need that. I just copy this style sheet in order to achieve some readable table, because otherwise the table would look really weird. So start by adding a table tag. Then start by adding the heading stuff. Which information do we get? I can remember it was like 4 things, if I'm right. Wrong file. I don't even need that anymore. Yeah. Database ID. Our nickname, the unique ID, and the operating system. So after we've done that, we can start with our PHP part. So simply open PHP tags again. Then copy this for each statement and logout function. Put that logout thingy below it. Why isn't it aligned? So, as I said before, it's looping through every player, like every client now. And it's checking if they are a query client or a human being client. And if it's a human being, we want to simply create a new line in our table by echoing tr. You can simply put all of this shit into one echo statement, but just because it's easier to read, I'm gonna put it into multiple echos. So go ahead and put in td, and then simply our TS client. The first thing is our database ID. So copy this array index, or whatever you want to call it, array key, and then put it in here in order to print out that array key value, whatever, I don't know how it's called. And then simply continue with the HTML. You can simply copy this and paste it 4 times below, so we can simply copy this, put it in here, copy this, put it in here, and copy this, and put it in here, and then copy this, put it in here, put a slash in front of it, and if we've done everything correct, it should print out a table now. And as you can see, it actually does. So if I'm gonna connect again, and I'm refreshing this page, as you can see, we got another client in here. We could simply add some other information by, for example, adding the client ID by simply adding a new column, call it client ID or whatever you want it to be, and then simply copy this, put it in here, and use client ID. I guess it was CL ID, I'm not quite sure. And as you can see, it is client ID, like CL ID. Yeah, that's basically how you can loop through your clients in order to do whatever you want.